We welcome a new instructor to Encore Learning this year, George Brockaway, and he will be teaching a course called A Spiritual Guide to Retirement. And using a seminar format, George will share questions and readings which will focus the discussions for each session. This is course number 7011. George?
So you can hear me, I assume. Not quite? Okay. How's that? Terrific. So as was said, this is going to be a discussion seminar rather than a lecture of any sort. And as a result, it's really going to be important for the attendees to read what is assigned for each week. That will improve not only the discussion, but how much you get out of the course. To get some of the practical stuff, it's on Tuesdays at 10 in the morning. There will be 8 sessions. You could almost think of this as a book club, except we won't have any drinks or food served. Okay? The book we're going to be reading is called A Spiritual Guide for Retirement. Looks like this. You can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of the online book sellers. It runs $14. You can get a used copy for $6 or $7, and if you want to go electronic, you can get it for $2.99 or something like that. Anyway, to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about, I'd like to read a little bit from the introduction to the book. Oh, I'm the author of the book. In the introduction, I talk a little bit about how retirement is looked at and practiced in the Hindu culture, but very little. And I'm going to pick up on the introduction referring to that. I say, and thus, admittedly, this book is intended mainly for a Western audience, or more accurately, an audience of those living in a situation where they can enjoy retirement. But what about the spiritual in the title? And what we'll find as we get into the different meanings of spiritual is an interesting debate or dialogue between two main views. One, rooted firmly and unapologetically in the Western scientific and empirical camp. And the other, rooted just as firmly in a more universal, religious, and experiential camp. And as we get into this dialogue or debate between these two views, we'll discover that each one relies on certain basic fundamental assumptions to support their view of things. Assumptions that are so basic and fundamental, they function as axioms or foundational beliefs in their respective belief systems. And these differing sets of assumptions ultimately cannot be reconciled. This then will be a journey of discovery, and like most such journeys, it can be worrisome and exciting and a challenge. You're likely to come across beliefs that you never focused on before and now find that you have to hold them, believe them true, if you're going to hold still other beliefs which you do indeed hold as true. And you may not be so sure you want to subscribe to those new beliefs. Or you may experience a kind of epiphany, a feeling that, aha, I see it now, how it can all fit together. And I like that whole. It makes sense. It seems right to me. As you can now see, this book is, despite the title, not a self-help book in the usual sense. There'll be no lists of 5 things to see and do or 4 habits to acquire in your spare time. Rather, it's more like a trail guide for a journey through some new and unexplored territory. You might think of it as a hike up a mountain trail. Your guide will keep you from falling or taking too dangerous a path or missing any of the spectacular views, but it will take some effort on your part. Okay?